Hello, welcome back to the course, the pricing and packages course. I am now ending off with this final video about common questions that I get, frequently asked questions that I get from my coaching clients when I'm on a call with them. So I wanted to bring this into here just in case some of you have gone through this course now and you got to the point where you just still have a few questions. Maybe this what I'm going to share now is going to help you um, pull it all together and help you out. If you do have other questions that you do have, I'm happy to you to contact me via email, nats@weddingbusinesspro.com, and I'll gladly help you where I can. Otherwise, you can look at obviously the coaching option as well, which I'll discuss more in a little while. But I just wanted to run through some. I get this all the time on every single call that I've done. I've done probably close to 100 calls now. This is these are the top ones I get. So obviously the how does the coaching work? That's not one of them, but these top three is what I always get. So I just wanted to run through them quickly. I know you've done a whole course now. You don't want to keep hearing my voice, so I'll run through them. If you're finished already, then it's been great to have you here. But this is just to run through some common questions. So do I have to use all four packages? I get that all the time because most people have two or three packages. If the common when I look at people's how they've set out their pricing already, there's usually two or three. Some even have five or six. I've seen more, so some even have more. So why I use four packages? Remember the original story of the four package strategy is to price anchor. That's its existence. I didn't just make it up. I've done studies into pricing strategies. I've done a course on it. I've done all these things, and over this one particular person really stood out who has been selling. They were in the online courses space, but the same concept. And because I took it from there and I used it with wedding companies, and it worked. So that's why I'm coming from a space of it's not just like me guessworking. This has worked with, and you can look on my website for the testimonials there. It works. The full package strategy works. I use it in my own companies now. I've got clients who are still using it. I've got people who have used it but didn't quite work for them, so they've gone to the one package strategy. So I've got others who I've coached who did the full packages, and they then realized that they could still do their two package strategy that they were doing, but they were still implementing the personalities into it. So there's a way of tweaking it to you. So I'm not telling you, right, this is it. You've done this course now. You've got to go away. You've got to do the full packages and stick to it. Okay. I want you to try it. I do think every wedding business should at least try it because of the price anchoring aspect of it is so powerful, especially venues and photographers and those kind of things. I've seen it work over and over again. So if you're in that arena, I would definitely give it a try. But if you are adamant that you prefer to just do one or two or even three packages, then just go for the personality side of it. So if you don't work with intimate, couples, but you do work with the other three, and you will know, you'd be able to manipulate your world to see if you actually work with those kind of clients, then just base your still keep the same concept of the personalities, just take away the price anchoring side of things. Those crazy birds. And then that's how you would do it. If you only work with um I used to work with a company that only did like elopement weddings, but not necessarily elopements where it's just two people. They did intimate weddings up to 25 people. And I wrote their articles and things like that for them. But when we looked at their pricing, one package worked for her because she was talking to one person. She was having all of her clients were intimates. So she just said, well, it's just easier if I have one package. But I even said to her, you could still have four packages for the intimates. So that's why I said earlier in the course, you can still use a full package strategy just for intimate personalities, but then you're bundling it differently. So you're looking at it more of a bundles situation rather than a package deal. So these are all extra things that to talk about. So to answer this question as simply as I can, no, you don't have to use four packages if you don't want to. You own your business, you run your business, you know what's right for you. The four packages strategy works because of the price anchoring. So if you don't want to do the price anchoring side of things, that doesn't sit with you, then don't use it. But use the takeaway. I said to you at the beginning of this whole course, the biggest thing you can take away from this course is the personalities, understanding who you're talking to, understanding who you're packaging, who you're bundling for, and taking that forward into your marketing and your sales and even the way you deliver your products and services. That's taking that away is the more important to whether you use four packages or not. If you use both, in my opinion, if you use the four package strategy and the personalities, you are setting your business up for success. I've seen it over and over again. And it's so, and what the really works and what I love about it is it's really works really well for people who are not good at sales. They lack, you're good at what you do, but you don't like meetings and calls and tour bookings and things like that. It's like you're not confident. So if you're not confident like that, the four package strategy works because it sells for you. You don't really have to do much selling. You could just email your package, your pricing guide to these people who are interested in the pricing guide will do the selling for you. So that's why it's so important to use that if you are not a confident sales person. Not sales rep. I'm not saying you have to be that crazy sales rep. I'm talking about you find it hard to sell yourself in an authentic and natural way. Then I would recommend going for the four packages. And like I said all along, just try it. What if it does work? What if it works? What if it just makes your life so much easier? What if it transforms your business? What if it works? Just little tweaks here and there. But at the end of the day, you've taken a course. You don't have to. You're not chained to do this. This is take away what works for you. So the next question is, how does this work for a product-based business? So I haven't done a product-based business coaching call yet. So that's an interesting angle but I know the answer. So if like let's look at a stationery company for example. If you do invitations, menus, seating plans, things like that, how can you make this work for you? And it comes down to bundling. Okay, so instead of looking at it like you would put together a package like a photographer would or a venue would, you would just basically take the products that you offer. And like for the normals, that could just be the invitations, the printed invitations. For the intimates, maybe they just have the digital invitations and a couple of printed. Maybe the spenders have the invitations, the envelopes, the save the dates, something along those lines. And then the no hasslers just want it all. So they'll have the menu, the seating plan, everything that you can throw at them. They want it because they don't want to shop around and find it or print it themselves or do anything. Remember their personality. So that's how you would then you would pull together the packages for your products. The same with, I don't know, jewelry. I suppose you would look at it like maybe you get your earrings and a necklace, and then another option is to add in bracelets. Maybe you do your bridesmaids bracelets is in the spenders package. Maybe in the no hasslers package, it's everything. The mother, the bridesmaids, the mother of the bride, mother of the groom, your full jewelry, everything. Maybe a gift, maybe your wedding rings. I don't know. Everything that you can think of could go into, if I don't, obviously every one of you is different, so I'm not sure what you offer, but try and think along the lines of bundling, and that's how you would position it. And so then that leads me on to this next question which I get a lot in is it kind of feeds on from the products is what if they don't buy packages? So a lot of product-based businesses that sell one-off items don't need packages. So how again is just to do the exact same thing, is bundle as much as you can. Think along the lines of a restaurant in this situation. You know, when they do combo meals, but then they still have a price list. So you can, if you just want to go and buy a sandwich, you can buy a sandwich. But if you want a burger combo meal that has the drink and the combo and the fries and the ice cream and all these things, it's you can do that as well. So I believe that every client will buy a package if it's positioned in a certain way, like a combo. So someone who will go into McDonald's will buy the combo meal rather than just a burger because they they actually want a drink. It just hasn't been positioned that way before. So if you look, this is your opportunity to now basically to go, actually, maybe I could combo those two items together and make a bundle. And that's how I would look at it. Even with your services, I've worked with a marriage officer before, marriage officiant, celebrant, whatever you call it, and they really battled with how to package. And I was like, well, maybe do you do paperwork for them? Do you just do, obviously there's hourly things you could do, but in the end we were like, well, you would have a price list of the things that you would this particular marriage officer had price list of what they was going to submit the marriage contract for them and an international contract and all the different things that they did. If people coming for destination weddings here to South Africa, and there was different combinations of what they did. They'd never thought of it that way before. They'd always just like had a price list of this is what they offered. And I said, yo, what if, especially for the destination, they want no hassle. They don't want to back and forth, and they just want to know that they can get married here in South Africa. I think this particular couple lived in the UK. They were coming to get married here, and one was South African and one was from the UK, and now they got to get married in both places, but the paperwork was this, that, and the other. And I said, but how many other people go through that situation? So although that was a once off, what if you bundled it together and created a package for it so that people would see that on your website and or in your pricing guide kind of thing, and that would be an option now that you'd never thought about. You'd never thought about bundling that up before because people had just bought from you when they needed something. They would email you and you go, okay, this is the price for that. But now, what if you realize that because there are no hassler's personality, what if I bundled all of that up and offered it as a package? And that's why I want you to think. It's you've probably been selling things that could be bundled up, but you've just never thought about it. So I believe that every client that you think only buys one thing, the other one is the bridal boutiques. I get this all the time. How can I create packages for my bridal boutique? I mean, I'm selling a dress. They're only coming for the dress. What? Well, have you ever heard of creating a whole bundle? I've done it before where the jewelry is included, the veil is included, the the dress that they wear the night before the rehearsal dinner, the dress that they wear for the dancing style of things, when they get changed. What have you ever bundled something like that up? Do they buy extra things from you? Or they just come to the dress? And they don't. Usually, when they come to buy the dress, they buy all these other things that are in their store, the shoes and things like that. Why don't you just bundle it up and you say, right, you get a bundle valued to this amount of money and it's from this rail. There's so many things you could do. You've just got to think differently. So instead of thinking that people come to my store, my boutique, and they just buy their wedding dress, what could I put in the wedding dress? Who could I team up with? Could I team up with somebody else who's offering um, crowns, the beaded crowns, the jewelry, the bouquets? Could you do a package where you include the bridal bouquet into the package? I'm just thinking out loud here, but this is what I'm trying to make it work for you. Don't just think along the lines of, okay, well, I can't do packages or bundles because you can. Everybody can. You just have to think outside the box and go, what could you what could you do? So that's why those are the common questions I get is how does it work for me? Which leads me on to why I've put that how does the coaching option work? Because I know for those of you, if you've got a venue, if you're a photographer, yeah, makeup artist, it's probably all straightforward. You could go away now, take the calculator and get on with it, and by the end of, in a couple of hours, you'll have your pricing guide and off you go. Some of you with those other kind of businesses or even venues who just don't quite know how this will work, photographers, anybody who feels like they need a bit of extra help, I've just wanted to run you through a bit of the actual coaching option that I offer. So all it is a call with me. We do it on Google Meet. I have the calculator open on my screen. We share it and we fill it in as I talk with you and just give you little ideas and that you probably would never have thought of. And I've got the ideas because I've spoke to so many people. So I could be taking an idea that I spoke to somebody 6 months ago and they put it into their package and now maybe it would work for you. And it's kind of like that. And then we talk about the actual numbers, the numbers the calculator. Does it align with you? Does it not align with you? Do you need to tweak it? Do you need to bring it down, up? Where is your happy place where you can now go out there and think? We also look at things like your competitors and how much influence they have on you as a person and how what your limiting beliefs are if you've got any. And I'll be able to pick it up straight away. It's not a case of okay where this is where you've got to cry on screen with me and share all your worries about finances if you want to. Generally people do. They always offload on the call in the end, but it's not about that. It's not about me like prying into your life or anything like that. It's to help you. If you're at that point where you just don't know how to bring, you really love this idea, you love the concept, but you're just not sure how to pull it together, then that's what the coaching option is there for. It's just literally an hour call. That's all we need. I'm very quick to the point. We need an hour and it just pulls everything together for you where you can move forward knowing what will work for you and what won't. And it will just give you those extra bit of support and confidence going forward. And then you still have access to me via email as well. If you have any even more questions after that. But that's why the coaching exists. It literally pulls it together for you and thing. And even if you try and do it yourself, like go away now, you finish the course, you're going to go and do the action, create your pricing guide, and then at the end of it, you sit there with it, and you still feel a bit like confused or not quite sure, then you can still book the call. It doesn't mean that right now you have to book the coaching call. There is a voucher in the bonus section. It's there for you to use. You just use the coupon code when at checkout and you get the special rate because I don't have to teach you everything. You've already done the course. The coaching side of it for this is more affordable than the other. If you just landed on my website and you wanted coaching without taking this course, then I'd have to explain it all to you. So this is a discounted option that I just wanted to make available to you and just bring your awareness to it that if you are in that situation, then please reach out and book that call. Don't just linger and let this go, especially if you feel like what I've said in this course is really hitting home with you because it can really change your life. I've seen it so many times and it makes me so happy when I see people wake up to their potential, their financial potential, if that's the word, when they become what I call wealth activated, that they see that their potential to earn so much more money and get so many more bookings just from tweaking a few things and creating these packages and this pricing guide. It's remarkable and I love it. And so I really want to help as many people as I can. So if that is you, please jump on that call. If not, if this is where we leave, then I just want to thank you for being here and for taking the course. For those of you who are interested, I just wanted to mention quickly, I have done an extra video on the Align course. Now, the Align course is not a course you would go to the website and sign up for and you get like this. You don't get any videos, you don't get it. It's a one-on-one. We meet on a weekly basis, and it's run over 12 weeks, and it takes you through the 12-week step-by-step process of everything. So that includes the pricing. So, but it takes the pricing to the next level. It brings it all, it aligns it all to your business. So that is a one-on-one or one to your team. So basically, I don't mind if the team is on the call and I'm running through everything with you. But the Align course is basically taking the concept now of the four personalities and bringing it through into every single thing you do in your business, starting with your branding. So it would, if you've now raised your prices with your packages, or you're charging a lot more, but your brand is not aligned to that, to charge that, if it's not look, if your images don't look on point, if your wording, if your website, everything needs to align from a brand point of view. So that's the first call. We then look at your social media. We get those accounts, the profiles, everything aligning to the personalities, who you're trying to talk to. Then we look at your website. We look at your Google rankings. We look at email marketing, blogging, Pinterest, LinkedIn, you name it. We look at absolutely everything and we bring everything together. And then it also includes other things like networking. Who do you need to network with now that you've raised the bar? Who are you currently networking with? Who are you associated with? Who are you representing on your website? Who are you saying are your preferred suppliers? Who it's so it's bringing it all together. If you want to charge more, you've got to hang out with the people who charge more. It's the same. They pulling it all together, but I do it in such a way that is so aligned with you and your brand and your personality and your where you're heading to, your goals, your dreams, all those things. That's why it's called Align. It's not just, oh, okay, I want to charge $10,000, so now my brand needs to look like I charge $10,000. That's part of it, but it's more a case of this is what I want to achieve personally. So you want to achieve something with your business, and then we align that. We align the brand. We align the numbers. We align the couples. The couples who you're talking to have a personality, and you need to align that personality. And once you do it all, once you bring the pricing and you bring all of that together, you have this perfect brand. This perfect brand that just works for you without you even have to try. People will want. Have you seen those brands that just people just are so attracted to? They don't even have to market. They're just so attracted. They could put a photo on Instagram and it's got hundreds, thousands of likes because it's just the brand. It's so attractive. It's so magnetizing. It's that's who you want to be. You want to be the venue that people just naturally want to work at. So you don't even have to market. Your name alone will just be that name. That's what the Line plan is. It's not overnight. It's not overnight success. There's work to be done. But imagine, and again, just imagine what if it works? What if it works? What if what you learn in the Align program works? And it's so personalized. Every week is a take from the week before, and it's all so it's a coaching program that's aligned to you. So if you're interested in that, I've left a link in the somewhere on this page. You'll find it. There's a link to go and check that out. But first of all, obviously you got to do the pricing side of it. The Align does the pricing with me. So if you jump into Align, you would do the first part, the pricing, with me. So you wouldn't have to do it now on your own. You would do it alongside with me, and we'll do it together. That's part of the first part of the whole thing, and I would help you with the pricing guide and everything like that. So if that's what you want to know about, then please jump on that link and go check that out. Again, not sales repping you. It is literally for those who really want to take their business to the next level. And this whole thing that I'm doing has that goal. That's my purpose, is to get you to that level. I love watching people just wake up to their potential. So thanks again for being here, for taking this course. I hope you found it valuable and inspiring. And again, if I've come across bluntly and I've hurt people's feelings about arrogance and things like that, it's for your own good. It's just and it's not a case of you're arrogant and I'm great and I'm calling you out for it. It's a case of, are you burnt out? Am I releasing you from, remember that story I told you about the photographer that wouldn't stay to take the photo of the cake unless I change the timeline. That, he quit about a year later. I didn't know what I know now. When I look back, that was what he was showing. He was burnt out. He was over it. He was old. He was over it. He was not willing to go the extra mile anymore. He was burnt out. So it wasn't a case of what he came across of as I'm value, that's how much I value. My hourly rate is this, and I've only been paid for this, and that he came across as arrogant. But underneath those layers, he was just burnt out. He was over it. That's what I want to call out with you. Are you at burnout stage? Are you stressed? Are you coming from a place of lack? Do you have bills to pay? What is actually happening? Some of you will be here and going, well, I'm not any of those things. I always work extra hours if I'm asked to do so or whatever. I always give the extra mile. That's great. It's not a case of being taken advantage of. It's your decision what you do. But it's the way you come across, the way you react, the way you talk. There's a difference between saying a DJ, for instance. It's just unpack that one. I've seen this happen. I've got a really friendly, beautiful DJ, and I just love him. And I listened to him the one time, and his words were, so this is a real story. He said when it came to this, like how long he would work until, and he says, "Look, I will go as long as I can. If the party's still going, obviously I don't want to kill the party, but at the same time, if I have to drive back 2 hours to my home, and I'm only leaving at 2 o'clock after I've packed up, so I'm only going to get home at 4 a.m. Do you know how dangerous that is for me to drive at that time? It's not a case of I don't want to be, you to party and to have a great time. It's just dangerous, and it's not the right thing for me to do for me or for other drivers on the road. And so if you want to, if you want me to stay and party with you, to keep the party going, then maybe we could look at something like an accommodation and I'll stay the night and then it doesn't really matter because there's no driving that I have to do. But if I have to go home, then I'm going to have to call the party. So what we could do is, like come up to an agreement with the accommodation if you really know that you're having a destination wedding and all your family and friends are staying there and it's just going to go on all night, then let's look at the accommodation. Or instead of being like, oh, okay, well, I only work until midnight and anything over that is going to cost this, this, and this. You see how the conversation is different. You've explained in a human way the actual practicality of it. And most people would be like, yeah, actually, I don't want you driving home. That's dangerous. I get that. Let's look at the accommodation. Instead of, oh, let me just pay you 2 hours extra, then you still have to drive home and it's still dangerous. It's just wording it differently. And I just love the way he put it. And that person paid for his accommodation. So bridal couples will pay for your accommodation if you position it that way. If it's a matter of you don't want to stay later because you have to get home, or just little things like that. I don't have to. I'm not preaching here. I don't want to be the one that's coming across as a preacher. I'm just giving you ideas of how you can be more accommodating without being terms and conditions based. Because that is what I see a lot of people are getting wrong. Even when they've created their perfect packages, when they have their meetings, they're still coming across as very terms and conditions like, okay, well, I do this and this is what you get and this is what. No, it doesn't work that way. You've got to accommodate. You've got to be accommodating and talk in in a way that's open. You want to leave the conversation open. You're not going to be taken advantage of. It's keeping conversations open to ideas. At the end of the day, you can turn around and say, well, I'm sorry, but that doesn't work for me. These are the guidelines that I work for. I try my hardest to bring that into play, but I have to be upfront and say that this is da 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 da, and see where the conversation goes. But it's not no, these are my terms and conditions. That's it. Because that is not you are not going to be a successful wedding company. And if you are successful doing that, then good for you. If it works for you and people know that that's how you work and that those are your rules and this is how it is and they are aligned to that, then good for you. If it works, I'm talking to people right now, wedding companies, wedding venues, who are not making it, who are not getting the bookings, who are struggling to make the sales. Why are you struggling? What is getting in the way apart from, you know, maybe your venue isn't as pretty as it should be. Maybe your photographer, you don't have the best camera. Maybe you're not using the best. Maybe you've got some negative reviews from when you had a bad time, or I don't know, whatever's blocking you from. If it's not that kind of thing that's getting in the way of your bookings, then it's probably you, and it's probably how you're coming across at meetings. And when you're talking to the people, they get that energy. And it's not to say that you are a negative person, it's your energy that you're carrying around with you because of your burdens, because of your burnout. That could be the reason why you're not getting the bookings you want, why you're not getting the sales you want. So again, if that's not you, I'm just, I'm probably talking to 2% of the people who've taken this course, but I just wanted to make a note of it for those who do need to hear those words. That this is your chance now to make a difference, to change your life, to step back and go, okay, well, where am I being too terms and conditions based? And look at that. Where am I being too noisy in terms of numbers? Where am I being too noisy in terms of what am I, adding on transport wise, fees wise, cancellation fees, all these other things that just create noise I've already got, that you've positioned on your pricing guide already, that need to be taken off. Put it on your contract, fair enough, but take it off your pricing guide. Stop throwing terms and conditions at your clients before they've even booked you. You want to sell romance. You want to sell potential. You want to sell friendliness and hope, openness, and just the idea that working with you would just be easy. You don't want to scare them. So I'm rambling on, but I just wanted to hone in on that point because it's come up out of the 100 calls I've had, I'd say that's come up 75% of the time. That the person that I'm dealing with has either got burnout, they're too strict, they're too me, and they're not seeing how just softening to the personalities and the timeline and the psychology of the bridal couple, going back to the original videos at the start of this course, just bringing those into play can absolutely change how you move forward. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got anything you'd like to give me feedback, please reach out, nats@weddingbusinesspro.com. I'm open to all feedback, negative, happy, good feedback, bad feedback. It will all help me at the end of the day. If you think I should add something more, take something away, anything like that, I appreciate it actually if you would reach out, tell me what you thought about the course, because it is different and it's not for everybody unless I say you love or hate it. And I will not take offense if you get in touch and say, actually, I hated it. You're talking rubbish. Whatever, let's open the conversations. But thanks for coming and for taking the course. And I hope it helps you. Take care.